Hi, Chie, Stefano. Hello and welcome. And how are you guys today?
Good, good. Thank you.
Great. Well, thank you so much for taking your time out to take part in this expat life interview. I'm super interested to hear about your expat experience and hopefully uncover some insights that will be useful for other expats out there like yourself. So to keep up the interview, let's start with one simple question of where are you an expat from?
Yeah, we just came from Sweden, even though we originally from Italy. And is from
Right. Wow. That's a lot of traveling. So you're a very experienced and seasoned expat family, right?
Yeah, so we have to give a little bit more background where, yeah, as he said, like he's from Italy and from Japan, but we met in New York.
New York.
So we spent time years in the United States, then moved to Sweden, spent there 5.5, then moved to
Yeah, so not our first one.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, yeah, you're very, very experienced then. But so why did you move to Cologne?
Yeah, it's mainly for my job. I found a good opportunity here to join a nice biotech company here in the area of Cologne. So that's basically
That was the main reason. Yeah.
And did you find it challenging at all to find suitable accommodation when you moved, or did you find like a short-term solution before moving to your place?
Yeah, so it was difficult from abroad to look for a long-term solution. So yeah, that was very good and comes in handy like to Homelike. It was a very nice opportunity for a short term. So you give you time to come here and visit and also get used to the system here in Germany. Maybe it's different from Sweden, of course, from United States. So yeah, that was a good thing. We found like something very short term, already furnished. So let's take off a little bit of the stress from all these things and yeah, looking carefully what we want.
Great. And how long did you stay with Homelike?
It was originally 3 months, right?
Yeah, more or less.
More or less 3 months. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that because finding long-term accommodation took longer, or was it personal choice or other factors?
Yeah, I mean, we didn't know what to expect at the beginning. Like we didn't know the situation here in Germany in terms of accommodation. So we just spoke like 3 months and having time to know the city, know the neighborhood. So, but then luckily we found something pretty quick. So a few weeks out. But yeah, so it was a good solution. Mainly 3 months, yeah, because as I say, it was not, we didn't know anybody here in the city. So we didn't have any idea of how is the environment.
Yeah. And did you find the process of booking the accommodation with Homelike easy, or were there any challenges?
Yeah, the booking was easy. It was, so we found it a little bit difficult to find an apartment, like also there. It was, we got many rejection at the beginning, but I mean, the process was very easy.
And so before you moving over, were you aware of any sort of midterm accommodation solutions like Homelike?
No, we didn't know.
No,
No.
true.
Okay. So what was your process for finding accommodation? Once you decided that Cologne was going to be a place, where did you start?
So I had a contact with the company that they sent me like a list for short-term accommodation and also a website where you can look for long-term. And looking for long-term it was challenging because you know, and along the websites that were listed for short-term online was
One of them. Yeah.
The other were more for German-speaking people, were like maybe more complicated to book. So of long like, of course, was more international. We did it seemed more international. So
For Expat.
yeah, for experts, so easier to book and go through the process. So it's something more familiar.
I see. Okay. Oh, that's good. And so aside from the accommodations, what were some of the biggest challenges that you faced when moving to Germany, and how did you overcome them?
Moving itself, no? Like we,
Well, I mean, like the finding a kindergarten, if you have a small child, then it's complicated because yeah, there is not too much space.
well, also the months that we were moving here was the end of April. So it was not like beginning of the year for the kindergarten or end of it. It was kind of in the middle.
Yeah, but so it's always a challenge because it was on sometimes not that you move 1 year before. So maybe you move on a short notice from 3, 4 months, and then it's hard to find a place right away because you need to queue, and since there is a problem also in the city of Cologne, there is a lack of teachers in kindergarten.
Lack of kindergarten as well.
That we didn't know at the time.
Yeah.
That's one of the biggest challenges.
Yeah, I think that would be quite a common one because you never really know what to expect. And maybe you wouldn't necessarily, you'd probably assume that it's going to be fairly easy, but it probably differs from place to place. Were there any other challenges that you found? So you had moving, you had the kitchen and, finding toddler space, childcare, anything else?
I think it was pretty much the biggest challenges. More or less we knew we had many experience moving from different countries, so I think we were already prepared for all the documentation, and I think bureaucracy wise, maybe the only thing that we found a little bit uneasy is just or you do this registration in a city it can be tricky if you don't get the right person because it's hard to you don't speak German. I assume that a lot of people that want to move to Germany they don't really speak German, and when you do this type of registration they require you to understand some German. We almost risk not to go through that, but then we manage. But besides, I think it's maybe also here was nice. With no major challenge.
How would you compare the transition period between Germany, Sweden, and the US?
Yeah, that is a very different. I mean, for me, US it was okay. I think I was too young, and then, but from New York to Sweden, I think it was much, much harder than like moving from Sweden to here to Cologne, because completely different system, first of all. And that was our first big so to Europe, right? And that was quite challenging, I'd say.
Both of us were foreigners. You don't speak language, even though most of the people speak English, and we didn't know the bureaucracy, the system. So things were working different, much slower compared to US or other European country. So that's probably was the biggest difference. And
And I would say because I'm not EU, even though I'm married to him, he's Italian, I had to apply for the resident permit in Sweden, and it took forever to get to my hands. It was like almost 9 months, I would say. So that was very, very hard. And then while it was processing, you are not allowed to get out of the country. So I felt like I was in jail or something. So I was quite emotionally not okay, but here we applied for the resident permit for me end of May, I think. And I already got an interview with a counselor. So that was, to me, I was like expecting, it's summer, July, maybe it's not going to come. But it was surprisingly like quick. And everything seems very bureaucracy-wise, it's quite quicker, and then nothing comparison to the US or Sweden, I think.
Yeah, I'd say the same thing. That we moved from Australia to the UK and then UK to Germany, and the process to get to the UK was mind-bending. It was wild and frustrating and complicated. It took forever and it was expensive. So when we were moving to Germany, we were preparing ourselves for the worst. We thought, oh, well, Germany's the worst in terms of bureaucracy, so it's got to be a nightmare. But we just walked in there. They're like, oh, so you're going to Germany? Yeah, okay. boom, done.
But
And we're like,
yeah.
what? That was it?
Yeah.
So it was like surprisingly easy and so much more welcoming than what we experienced in the UK as well. So the complete opposite of what we were expecting.
Yeah.
You would think that the UK being part of the Commonwealth, you'd think that whole process transition would be a lot simpler, but
No.
UK to Germany was like a walk in the park. Yeah. It's really interesting to hear these types of stories from people that have gone from country to country, because you just don't generally know what's going to happen until you experience it yourself. So
Yeah.
hearing these little stories will probably help someone out there who's in the same position. So I'm curious, so what do you like most about Cologne and Germany so far? And how would you describe the quality of life?
I think I really like people. I immediately noticed after like 1 week later or something after we moved here. I mean, like random people talk to us and which didn't happen in Sweden.
Yeah.
So it's like everybody's so friendly, very welcoming. When we're in the store, sorry, like English is okay. And then they're like, yeah, sorry, like I only speak a little English. And it's very, very nice. It's warm. I like that.
That's good.
Yeah. For a sense of community.
Yeah.
Yeah. People are generally nice. They want to do find a way to help you. So that's nice. Even though language can be a barrier, but actually you don't find any problems.
Yeah. And had you been to any other German city before Cologne?
We've been to Berlin.
We're been to
Freiburg.
Yeah.
And did you notice any difference between the people? I mean, I asked because people from Cologne are known to be generally more friendly than other parts of Germany, but I was curious to see what you thought.
I think it's hard. I mean, the other place we went just as a tourist, so it was
hard to compare.
Weekend in Berlin or but we were not even looking for that.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. Yeah. So my next question is that what do you miss most about your hometown? But you've got a couple of hometowns now, so you can choose which one you'd like to.
I would marry for Japan, but if you say like that, well, if it's New York, I mean, I miss, I don't know, art. I miss people, crazy people, in a good way.
Yeah.
Varieties, I don't know. Yeah, that I miss. Food, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say like from New York, I miss the energy maybe that the city gives you. I know. For Sweden, I guess I miss the attention to the climate. I think that is, you feel like people are really all coming together to be more aware of the climate change and taking. So it's very, really nice. And from Italy, I really family, friends, the mountain, because I'm close to the mountain.
Do you hold on to some of these things as well? Like, does it make you want to go back at any point, or are you quite settled in Germany for now and just see what happens?
That's hard to say at the moment, but
too soon.
Yeah, because we've been here 3 months now.
Yeah. We don't want to say we never move again because things change. But you see, if the situation is still like this, we don't have any reason to like the area. The people are super nice. There's plenty of things to do. And it's great, but there is also like a city close by. The airport all over the place, easy to travel, and it's a very major hub for traveling by trains. So it's good.
Yeah. Okay, so my next question is then, if you could move wherever you want, what would be your next ideal destination?
Japan.
Yeah, probably Japan.
Yeah. Anywhere in Japan in particular?
You like Hokkaido.
Yeah, I like Hokkaido.
Hokkaido?
Part of Japan.
Yeah.
I don't know. I want to go to south. Opposite direction.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That'd
that's
be cool.
big for me.
Yeah.
I mean, I left my home country when I was 16. So I didn't spend, I would say, enough time to get to know many regions and cities. And so if I can go back, then maybe I can experience that. But yeah.
Yeah. That'd be nice. Japan's such a beautiful country.
Yeah, I miss food.
Okay, so if you had your time again with the whole expat into Cologne, what would you do differently, if anything? And the next question would be, what advice would you give any other expat families in a similar position to you? So maybe you can answer both in one.
I think it's to say more or less we did things the right way, or at least in a good way. We couldn't do anything about the kindergarten because anyway, it was pretty much short this. So
also, we prepared quite well. Like in other words, all the documents, all the stuff. Things we couldn't do was like we physically needed to be here. Like for example, the apartment, right? We could of course search online and all the stuff, but we couldn't see it, right, in our eyes. So that was, yeah. So we prepped ourselves well for that. But
yeah, the only thing that we could have done differently with these classes, maybe if it would make more sense, like if I go first to Germany, look for apartment, and then move on to family. There could be another strategy, right? Because then you have less, you don't have to think right away the kindergarten and all the job stuff, but they can just focus on one mission, that is the apartment, and then it's low yield. Maybe that, but that's personal choice.
Depending on the case, yeah. If like you have a kid, then that's a completely different story.
Yeah, understood. Yeah. Well, that's great. Well, thank you. That rounds up all the questions I had for you guys. So I really appreciate all of the things that you shared tonight. So thank you so much. Do you have anything, any last comments that you'd like to share with the people who would be watching?
Besides the fact that Germany is a great place to.
Well, Cologne is beautiful city.
People are super nice.
Yeah,
different.
Really can be a very good choice
for Expat, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, great. Thank you so much, and all the best for the future in Cologne. And we'll hope to speak with you again soon.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you.